Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jammin, Jukebox, a radio show. I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and it is hump day, as we say in the South. Well, I think pretty much everybody says it across the world, but but it is Wednesday. Do you realize we are 2 days from Friday? The weekend is around the corner. We're not far now, so we got to just hang in a little bit longer. But I'm glad that it's Wednesday because I'm really excited about our guest that we have on tonight. Gosh, where do I begin? She's a singer, she's a songwriter, a musician, a performing artist, and she is completely committed to different causes that she believes in. She's very dedicated to that, and she's just a phenomenal human being on top of that. And so I would love to introduce to you right now Miss Bekah Eden. Hello, Bekah.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. It is an honor to have you. I really do love your song, and I can't stop listening to it in between. It has such a great message, and it's just one of those really good heartfelt songs that is just so uplifting and so powerful all at the same time.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on your show today.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I guess the first place to start is to kind of talk a little bit about how you got your start in the music business, because you've done so much already, and you've done so many different things within this industry. So talk a little bit about your background.
Well, I grew up in a small town and began taking music lessons at age 9 and just kind of stuck with it, and then decided, that's what I wanted to study in college, and I got a degree for music education. And it was there that I started really actively songwriting, and then I got signed to a label in Virginia Beach to do a pop album, and went ahead and had that whole album project come out, which led me down a road that I just really ended up soul searching like never before, and really trying to figure out, my voice in the music industry and really what kind of artist I wanted to be, and just kind of what I was truly passionate about, and that kind of took me down the road of purpose-driven music. I just decided that I don't want to do this stuff to perform and to entertain. I want to do it to change people's lives, and I want to write music that really, heals people's hearts and just is kind of like a voice for the voiceless. And then from there, different doors opened up, and I was able to partner with a nonprofit out in L.A. and write their campaign song, and then, ended up meeting producers out there, and just kind of, I don't know, it's all evolved, but now I'm working on, getting some new material out there that's very, very dear to my heart and very true to who I am and the sound that I've always felt like I wanted to, have, and different things like that. So, yeah, it's all a work in progress.
Well, I must say I'm quite impressed, because you are really a special and a unique kind of artist, because, as you said, your music has a purpose and it has a message. And so many artists out there today, that are aspiring to become rich and famous off of the music industry, they have a mission that they're on, but it's not in that way. And I think what you're doing is really going to take you much farther, because along the way of producing such great music, you're going to touch oodles of lives in the process, because we just never know what someone needs in a given moment, and music is a great way to heal folks and heal hearts.
It really, really is. I mean, it's not something I do, it's a lifestyle, I feel like. And for me, there are some songs that I've written that nobody will ever hear, but for whatever reason, I had to sit down and I had to write them just for myself to even cope with things that I was facing, or just, experiences in life. Life is not easy, and I know that there are people out there that have it way worse than me, and just to be able to express your feelings in a way that's healthy and positive is like, it's very powerful. And it's something that, you know, I totally believe in, and not just for myself, but I encourage it in other people.
Yeah, and I think that's so important because, you know, it's kind of like you've stepped outside of yourself, and you're seeing, you recognize the needs that other people have, and you're using your gifts and your talents to be able to give them a hope and a peace that they may not receive any other place, you know. And music, like I said, is such a great healer. It's a great unifier. I mean, even if, you know, no matter where we're from, what walk of life, you know, what language we speak, music is one of those things that just brings people together more than anything else. And it speaks to people in such a way that can't be compared to anything else as well.
Right. No doubt about it. I mean, it is, there's nothing more exhilarating than creative expression, I feel like, but that's my passion. So, you know, I'm sure it's for athletic people, it's you know, them running, swimming, doing athletic things, and for artists that are more, you know, driven with the painting, that's, you know, it's whatever your passion is. I think, you know, we were all created to be different, and in that there's so much beauty, and I just see that, and I love that. I love that, that in my field, you know, one of the things, like, that was hard for me at first was just, like, dealing with the stereotypes of, like, okay, well, are you going to be like this person, or are you going to be like this person? And something deep inside me was like, what if I just want to be myself? You know, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, why do I have to be like somebody else? Like, I'd rather just be myself, you know, and I had to really fight against those weird, wrong ideals, you know, and I understand that people see success and then they try to copy that, but I don't really care about that. I care about being true to who I am, and that has really never steered me wrong, and it takes a lot of courage, you know, but luckily I do have a good support group, and, you know, I have, you know, throughout the years, it's required me to have a little bit of a backbone, which I would recommend that everybody has a little bit of a backbone, because if you're pursuing your passion, you have to make sure you stay on course. Yeah,
that's so true. And you know, and anyone that is striving to make it in the music world, I mean, can be a carbon copy of something that's previously, you know, been made known. But to be true to yourself, especially in the music industry where it's so cutthroat and it's so competitive, it is risky and it's a challenge, but I think you can never go wrong if you're being true to yourself, because you're always going to do the things that are going to make you happiest and what you believe in as an artist versus what, you know, stereotypically society is saying is the here and now big thing, you know, that is going to fade away after 15 minutes, whereas you are going to continue to be trudging along, you know, in the interim and the long run, because you didn't divert from and try to become anything other than who you are, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and that's really, you know, that's really what I'm going for. People will ask me, like, okay, so what are your goals? And I'm like, do you really want to know what my goals are? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, to never quit. And they look at me like, what in the world? Are you, like, crazy? And I'm like, that is my goal. Like, you have no, I mean, it's hard, you know, but, I mean, nothing worth it is going to be easy. And that's the thing, like, and all the hard stuff can actually be the, you know, when you go through the hard times, those are the moments where you write some really in-depth, amazing songs. I mean, it's the hard times that can shape you as a person in a way that the happy times could never do, you know, and so you got to take it in stride, take the limitation in stride, and, you know, just understand that maybe there's something in you that's being strengthened when you go through a time where you're feeling oppressed or a time where you're feeling like you got a bad break. Like, all those things can be blessings in disguise if you choose to open your eyes and really see the positive in it.
That is so true, and I couldn't agree more, actually. And one thing I want to point out is that I think, you know, listeners of music cannot be fooled. And I can just tell you, being a music fan my entire life, you know, mainstream music is really bad about it nowadays. But you've got so many songs coming out of, say, the pop world that they're good songs, but they're so reminiscent of one another. I mean, there's a similar sound, and after a while it just gets old. And listeners are always, I think, wanting something new and fresh and primarily original. That's not like something they can turn on any pop station and hear. And, you know, and listeners can really see through the facade sometimes. And if an artist is really not being true to who they are, but they're allowing, you know, what the most hip thing in society is at the moment, they're not going to last. They're not going to be around, you know, and whether they want to quit or not, they won't have a choice because, you know, here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing is what's going to happen. In your case, though, however, I think it's great because with you being true to your music and always, you know, having this passion for doing it for the reasons that you do, I mean, it'll be hard for you to quit because there will always be a need. You can always adapt and change, I guess is what I'm trying to say, for what cause and what need you see is out there. You can rise to the occasion every time. And
right.
It gives you a lot more latitude as an artist in creative spirit that some artists just never get to experience.
Yeah. And that was actually one of the things that was a little bit strategic because for me, you know, I am extremely creative. I mean, I do a lot of different stuff with music, but I didn't want to be put in a box. And so, you know, luckily I have like the most beautiful people that I get to work with, like beautiful hearts, beautiful just people in general. And they, you know, they were cool with me being me. And me really being like, this is kind of what I want to do, you know, and they're like, okay, let's make it happen. And, you know, I am an independent artist, and I love that because, like, so many times, even on my website, like my website, I wanted to take the whole design is from a photo shoot that I did. And I wanted to go back home and have people really experience me in the places where I, like, grew up as a little girl being enchanted by nature, which might sound crazy, but I just would dream. I would look at, like, flowers in my grandma's yard, and I would look at, like, the open sky and the cotton fields. And, I mean, I'm from a country town, and I remember just having, like, these feelings of, like, dreaming big stuff. And that was just such an enchanted place for me. I wanted to take people back there with me so that they really were seeing, you know, who I really am and where it came from and stuff. And so many times I have people tell me, your website is so warm. I feel like it's so intimate. And I love that because it's something where I'm like, I hope people get it, but you never really, you know if they're going to really get it. And not everybody's going to get it. But, you know, like, you know, having people relate with that already, you know, it's so, like, it really blesses me because I'm like, thank you, like, because I actually was intentional about, like, hoping you felt that way, you know, and so I think that, you know, it's so confirming, you know, and it encourages me a lot. It encourages me a lot because for as many people that are positive, there will always be people that, you know, will try to put you in a box, and my goal is really just to never quit and don't be typical. They might sound like, you know, like, I know that for, like, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I want to win 1 billion Grammys, and that's great. You know, I would love to win 1 billion Grammys too, but, you know, like, I think I'll go a lot further staying true to who I am, never quitting, and not being typical. And, you know, whoever gets on the train with that, it's great. If not, it's all good because at least I know I can be confident that I'm really being who I feel like I'm called to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that resonates. And I must tell you, I completely agree with everyone that's ever said anything about your website in that it is very inviting. And it's not like a typical website you would go to. You know, be as good as many websites are in their design, yours does have that personal feel to it. And you feel like when you visit the Bekah Eden website, especially, when you're seeing the word B, using your initials of your first and last name, that is so cool, by the way. It really just kind of invites you in, and it's almost as if you're saying to the viewer, come, welcome to my world, come take a tour. And the whole site is kind of laid out, and you go from page to page, and the backdrop of the screen just kind of magically appears, and that is so cool, because it's like a little journey on the site.
Yeah.
And it is very peaceful and calming. I mean, it's a great site to visit. So plus, it's not to mention it's chock full of information. I mean, beyond belief. It's very well done. So whoever you had to design your site did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a really good job. Definitely. And I think I might have an eye for design. That's one of the things that's been cool about this process is I never really, I've learned what I love, and even from down, like, the little details like fonts, like, I knew, nope, I don't want that font. I want this font, and, like, different stuff like that. And that's why I love that right now I have that creative control because I know what I like and I know what I want, and no one could ever, I could never even have anybody understand that unless they saw it.
That's right. That's right. And, and there's a lot to be said for, I mean, the thing that I love about indie music is that there's not the stigma attached to it like it used to be, 5-10 years ago when indie music started out as just kind of a subgenre of rock. It was kind of, it couldn't really be a particular classification, so they just kind of, the music industry just kind of shoved all those artists in this little box that said, okay, these are indie artists. And then it just evolved into this all multifaceted genre, multidimensional, area of the music industry that is just unbelievable. And so now the creative control that artists have to not only put out some of the best music I've heard in my lifetime, but also to be able to do pretty much what they want to in terms of their creativity and even down to their website, which I think is just awesome because you really aren't boxed in and you're not being told by a record label, hey, you got to do it this way, and and your ability to control things is limited, so that's an awesome thing. Although the financial aspect of it would be nice sometimes, but at the end of the day, to be able to do your own thing the way you want to do it, there is no compare for that, I would imagine. Yeah.
And, I mean, there will always be sacrifice involved. That's one of the things that, I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out, but, anytime you're doing what you love or doing what's on your heart, and taking that step out in courage, because it takes a lot of courage to do it, and to be different because we're so used to, oh, well, this is really different. I don't even know if I like it, it's because we get used to the same stuff and it's that constant change or whatever, but, to be able to do that and, just to feel good in that, there's always going to be a sacrifice with it. And so sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, okay, well, I can do this less than the best, but then I'm always going to regret it, or I can try to give it my best and then hope that maybe someone else enhances that a little bit too, and and so I would say, it's always worth it to do your best, and the chips can fall where they may, but at least you don't have regrets.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. One of the things that I want to talk to you about, because I know that it's part of your music, you're so passionate about so many different causes, and I know just a few short years ago, you not only in addition to being a music artist, songwriter, musician, you also are a successful business owner, and you've done some wonderful things in that way. Talk a little bit about that, as well as the charitable organizations that you've helped support and benefit.
Okay, well, yes, locally in Virginia Beach, I work with a lot of kids, a lot of people actually aging from like 5 to 40. And, you know, I call them beasters because they're my stars.
Aww.
They're my Bekah Eden stars or whatever. But so anyways, like I always put like a bunch of pictures up of different sessions on Instagram, and I'll hashtag beasters. But anyways, I think that's just a random fact. But you know, I specialize in believing in people, and as a creative person, like what I've really noticed is like I love to encourage people, and I think that people feel that in my music. They feel that when you meet me, like I'm just a warm person, and I love to encourage people, and I especially love to encourage creative people because they are some of like the most sensitive, intuitive people, and I just have a heart for them because, you know, it takes so much courage to really blossom in your gift. And you know, it happens to everybody, but you have people telling you all the time you're not good enough, or you need to be like this person, or you're too fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too tall, or you're not, you know, like your skin color's not right. And like I just hate all that stuff. And I just have such a heart to really empower people and empower people in their gifts, you know, and empower them in who they are. And, you know, one of the things I've realized is that nobody really has the potential to truly see who somebody is, to really see who they really are at the core, you know, inside of them. And I've even felt that, you know, like, and it's like people, you know, then you like kind of start the potential and you start coming out and they're like, whoa, you know, and you're like, well, this ain't nothing because I'm still a little bit afraid and I haven't really put myself out there, you know. And so I've made it a point to, you know, work with people to not only help them train in their gifts, but to really, it's like a holistic thing. I mean, it didn't really start off like that, but I just got to the point where I would just see things and I would just, you know, like some of my kids are working on their demos with me right now just because I'm like, okay, like one of them's 10 years old, and I'm like, yep, you wrote a song? Okay, now you're going to come record it, and we're going to do a demo, and you're going to have a demo, and you're going to put it on SoundCloud, and, you know, and just like kind of inspiring them to dream. And just like anything is possible. And I think when I was younger, I didn't have that. I didn't have someone really that was like, you know, just was pure about it and was super, you know, encouraging to, okay, well, you want to be different? Cool. I'm going to help you get there. You know, I'm not just going to say it. I'm going to do it. You know, and so that is extremely fulfilling. I absolutely love doing this. And so I work with, you know, kids locally, and, you know, I've even worked with some kids in California. So it's been, you know, nationally as well that this has happened. But then also with my causes, I want to give back, and I want to really actually make people that feel like the rejected. I guess I have a heart for the rejected too. I have a heart for them, and everybody's important to me. Like, whether you were a celebrity or whether you are a bum, you're going to get the same treatment from me. You know, and that's why I want to help with causes, is because I feel like, I mean, causes, you know, different causes, like not everybody's rejected, of course, but like people that are struggling with things, you know, like being able to use my music as a fundraiser to help, you know, those companies really have extra income to further their heart for people. You know, I just don't, I don't know how you can't win with that, but like, you know, with the military, like the song In Between, I have a heart for the military. My grandfather served in the military. My brother actually just swore in the military. And so just like saying, hey, you know what, like, I want to help you, and you weren't forgotten. You know, like, and somebody thought about you. And I know, like, I feel pretty, you know, like me writing music for the military men and women is so small compared to what they sacrifice for our country. But like I like really it was inspired by a heart that wanted to help. Like my heart just felt like heavy, and I wanted to help, and I didn't know how. And then I was like, oh, why don't I just do what I'm good at? Like I'll probably be better at that helping than anything else, you know. And that's kind of how it came about or whatever. But yeah, I just really, really want to write music that really makes people feel loved and thought about and cared about, and that they're important and that they're valued as who they are, whether or not the world accepts that or not, you know. And yeah, it's definitely a message of hope.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that I love about your artistry is the fact that you recognize that we're all individual, but yet we're all special, you know. And and you know, as I'm listening to you describe, I can just hear the passion in your voice about how passionate you are about this, and how you treat everyone equally and the same. And you know, and really that is kind of each individual, that is each one of our mission in this life is to get to that point. And if more people would approach, you know, others the same way and embrace others in the way that you do, I mean, what a great example you are. I mean, there would be no such thing as prejudice and racism and all these things that separate us. We would be, you know, united instead of divided. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that is highly inspirational. And I mean, everything that you've done for those who, you know, obviously you've been put in the path of different people for a reason. And in the right moment, you came along to help inspire and motivate and uplift folks. And I'm sure that has just done wonders for many people along the way. And you're also using these great talents and gifts that you have to utilize your voice as a means to promote the message that you have in helping others, and I think that's just incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, and I really, really, really hope that, you know, when my time comes, that the legacy that I leave is really going to make people think about how they value other people, even your enemies, you know? And because the value has been taken off of people and onto just anything, you know, else, I feel like. And the older I get, the more I just have such a curiosity for different cultures, for different, you know, just different people, and I hope it really, really, I hope I'm used in my life, and whatever artsy stuff that I end up doing, it really, really makes people feel valued, and it makes them feel like, you know what, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to really just be myself, and whoever loves me for me can love me for me, and whoever has issues with that, that's about them, and that's not about me.
Exactly. You know, and that's so well said, because a lot of times I think in the midst of conflict or discord, you know, people take it personal, and it really, you know, it goes back to really being true to who we are as individuals. And if we're being true to ourselves, we're going to be true to other people. And that's not always easily accepted by those who, you know, they may be in a different place as you are, I are, the next person in their own respective lives, and may have things they need to work through. But it really can't be our issue. It has, you know, it has to stay with them and for them to work through. But I think as human beings, our call is to try to, you know, embrace them in spite of that and try to do the best we can. But it can be very hard. But in the meantime, if we don't lose sight of who we are, then that's the key. I mean, I think that's so important. Because I think if we're being true to ourselves, we can help other people find themselves along their journey in some way. And I really have always wondered how that works, but it tends to work, you know. But the truth is what it is. It's truth, and it doesn't get more real than truth, whether it being true to ourselves, speaking truth, or just, you know, knowing what the truth is within ourselves. So you just can never go wrong in that way.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I want to talk to you about is the song you wrote in between for the Harvesting Happiness for Heroes, which is a nonprofit organization. Talk a little bit about that and how it came about for you.
Well, like I said earlier, I just had a heart that wanted to help. I mean, I'm still like that. It's just how I'm wired. But I just felt like I wanted to, give back. And, I met this woman who has this nonprofit out in L.A., and it's called Harvesting Happiness for Heroes, and the founder is Lisa Kamen, and we had a mutual friend just connect us, and she told me about how her company offers free programming for men and women fighting with PTSD, and then she talked a little bit about PTSD, and I just, sat at my piano, and my heart was heavy, and then I said a prayer, and then the word in between came into my head, and then the song just came. And, and I felt like I wanted to cry. I felt warmth. I felt and that's how it happens a lot of times. You'll hear songwriters say that. I've heard songwriters way more further along the road than me and talk about how sometimes it's like something takes over your body and you just have to lock yourself in a room and you have to get it out. And
that's so true.
Yeah, and I can really relate with that, and it's effortless. That's the craziest thing. It's just you feel that conviction, you feel that heart, you feel that passion, you feel that, compassion for people, and then it just happens or whatever, and then so went out to California, got it recorded, and we just came out with our new version of it at the beginning of this year, and we're about to release a new song that I co-wrote with a producer out in Malibu called I'm Coming Home, and we got together and wanted to write how we hoped that men and women would feel when they come home from war, and that's a beautiful song, and so that's coming out next month, and those will be my two military songs for now, but they're both very special to me.
And I'm sure both very special to the men and women who serve our country. And I really wish that there were more artists like you, Bekah, because, you think about, I think a lot of people most of the time take for granted just the sacrifices that those men and women in our armed forces make day in, day out. The holidays that they have to miss with their families because they're overseas, and or some of them get killed in the line of duty and they're shipped home and to be buried. And it's I think a lot of times we're so busy, we're so wrapped up in ourselves and in our daily walk and our routines that we forget that, we're able to do all of those great things. I'm able to sit here on this radio station and talk with you, and you're able to make great music because of the sacrifices of the men and women that have, that put their lives on the line every day. And I really think that there need to be more songs like this that are being put out there, not only for the men and women who serve, but for all of us, because what a great way to unite our country, and not to just be played in July 4th, Memorial Day, or Labor Day, or Veterans Day, rather, but throughout the year as a constant reminder of those sacrifices and just what a great country that we live in. For all the problems that we have as a country and that we face as a nation, we're still the greatest place to live on earth. There's no other country in the world I would rather live, at the end of the day. So, I think we need those reminders, and unfortunately in this day and time, I think it needs to be a constant reminder so that people never lose sight of just how precious our freedom is,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I have to say that being connected to the church that I go to here in Virginia Beach, it's called Wave Church, our pastors have such a heart for the military, and if I didn't have that, and if I wasn't connected, I don't even know if I would have really had that revelation, even with family members that I've been in church with, learning how to really honor and learning how to really, serve and give back and, different things like that. I have to put that out there for them because I've never been connected to a church that, honors the military like my church does, and it's made me a better person, you know, and I'm grateful that our pastors have that heart for the military because, like, really, it's true. Like, we all would not be doing the things. We wouldn't be pursuing our dreams if we were constantly worried that we were going to get killed during the night or, you know, like,
exactly.
You know, like, I mean, it's a huge deal. Completely. Like, it is a huge deal. So thank you to all the military men and women.
I know, and the I think, you know, any time that we are able to give of ourselves to others, no matter whether it's, you know, you writing music, me helping you be heard kind of thing, or whatever the case may be, anytime we step out of ourselves and our comfort zone and help someone in need, that is the greatest feeling in the world, no matter how big or how small. I mean, you don't have to do anything magnificent and awe-inspiring to make someone in need feel needed and wanted and appreciated, and most importantly, loved. And that's an incredible, I mean, there is no greater thing than love. And when we can give of ourselves in that way, you know, we are doing exactly what we were put here to do. We're all one connected race. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with color, ethnicity, or anything along those lines. We're all connected, and our Creator made us all. And you know, we all were put here for a purpose. And so I just believe that we have to always look for the good and do good to make a difference in the lives of others. It's not about us, you know.
Yeah. It's so true. And, you know what, that's where I think, like, it's scary. It's scary even thinking of helping other people because people will always hurt you because a lot of people are hurting. I mean, we all have hurt. Like, point blank, we all have hurt. So to think of, like, helping people and knowing that, like, you have to do it with a heart that doesn't expect anything back, you know, because, like, people are people, and they're the most beautiful things that you can sew into, but they're also some of the, you know, it's the hardest thing. And I think, you know, you're right. Like, we do get it wrong, you know, like, and the more that I have been intentional about really building healthy relationships and really, you know, like, just some people, not everybody, but there will be some people in your life that you know they're so for you and they are true friends. And those are the people that you have to be willing to sacrifice for, that you have to be willing to challenge yourself to be a better person for, you know, because they're like they're like the diamonds. They're the diamonds in our lives. And I think that, you know, the more I have worked on really, you know, laying parts of myself down for those relationships, you know, the more it's like the doors just keep opening to the dreams and the desires of my heart. Like, it's so crazy. I never thought it was connected, but it's so relational. Like, and so many people will, like, I never want to be one of those people that's like, well, I'm going to step on you to get to the top, and I'm going to do this and that. And people do it. And you know what? You know, I'm not mad about that. Like, somewhere along the road, someone gave them some bad advice. Like, and they felt like that's what they had to do. But for me, I feel like there's got to be a better way. Yeah, it might be the long way around, but at least I'll know that I was the kind of person that I felt good about when I went to bed at night.
And you speak so much truth. I mean, you're so philosophical, and I love that about you because that resonates, you know, in everything that you do, not only as a human being but in your music. And really, I think it kind of goes back to what you said earlier, and that is being true to yourself, because when we're true to ourselves, we're going to do the right things. I mean, we're going to have the right intentions behind what we do for others as well. And there will not, and there's no animosity, and there's no jealousy, and there's no feeling of, I can't lift this person up because I'm jealous of their success. I mean, it really does. I mean, because I'm a big believer that what you put out there, you're going to get back tenfold. And you don't put, and I'm also a believer that you don't put something out there with the intention of hoping that you get all you can from it. I mean, you put it out there with the right intention, and it just naturally comes back to you because that is the way it works. And and if you put out positive stuff, you're going to attract positive stuff back. And, of course, same with negative stuff. And the same with people. I mean, you know, we get what we give is what it amounts to. And I think at the end of the day, if we can lay down at night and know we've done the best job we could, not just for ourselves to be the best we could be, but to be the best we could be for others, for the sake of others, that is probably the greatest self-sacrifice that we can give and live with. And it really does ring true with people at the end of the day when you think about how your actions and your interactions when we deal with people day in and day out, how it affects people and how you approach people. That's going to be their takeaway from their interactions with you, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to always be responsible individually to be mindful of that, you know, because words hurt and actions hurt. And how we go about it is the way, you know, that can make or break a situation.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I mean, that is fulfilling. That is one of the things that, you know, like nothing can replicate how I feel when I really encourage other people. Like, it is actually more fulfilling than singing on a stage. Like, that's something that even but I'm super in touch with myself. So I'm like, what makes me feel really fulfilled? And it's like, encouraging others, you know, believing in others. And, I think that's definitely one of the secrets to life.
Yeah. And, you know, something else, for something like that to feel that fulfilled, there is no amount of money in the world that can buy that feeling. You know, and that's the amazing thing about it. I mean, there is no price you can put on that. It's a priceless feeling, yet there's no amount of money that you could ever buy it. It has to come by naturally and truthfully and honestly, and that's the only way that you'll achieve it. It's the way I see that.
I have to say this too. You know, when I started, you know, working with other people, and like this was years ago, but. When I started really, like, selling into other people's gifts, so much a part of me hated it. Like, a part of me was just like, okay, this is not how I saw my life going. This is not, like, what I thought I would end up doing. Like, and it was really, like, I had to work it out, but I'm so glad I didn't quit. Like, somewhere in the process, I changed. Or maybe they changed me, actually, because I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened, but I just had to say that because sometimes it's the things that we think that are so insignificant or that you, like, aren't enjoying, but that's where the miracle is, you know, like that's where the breakthrough is if you just stick with it and just try to focus on the positive in it. You know, sometimes it's the biggest shift when you just change your perspective. And, you know, like, I know that that's probably not something that's popular to say that, but it doesn't matter because I know that, like, I cannot even believe, like, I'm a different person. I'm a different person because I sewed into other people. I mean, and the person that I am now, I feel, I have, you know, it's like you're like, okay, you know what? There is hope. Like, there is hope. Like, because you end up liking yourself more because you're not all about yourself. You are about others.
Exactly. That is so true, and that is so well said. And I know that no matter what you do as you move forward, you will be an incredible success because your heart's in the right place and you have the right intention behind every bit of it. And you know, and as I listen to your story, I mean, you make it sound so simple because really and truthfully it is that simple. But when you look at a lot of music artists of today, and how they go about it, and, you know, all you have to do is, you know, pull up social media and you see all kinds of fodder about certain celebrities, certain artists. And, you know, and it's so evident that presence that they have is all about themselves and it's not about anyone else but them. And you know, and people scratch their head and go, well, why did this happen? Why did this happen? And it's simply because when it becomes about you and no one else, it's going to fall apart at some point. I mean, you may ride the wave and the high for a while, but sooner or later that's going to come crashing down. There's no way it can sustain itself for any given period of time. And as we've seen over and over again with the rise and fall of many Hollywood celebrities as well as music artists, So I think there are many out there that could stand to adopt the same mindset that you have and heart set, I should say, for people, because that's really at the end of the day what life is all about. And, giving of ourselves and loving one another and being the best that we can be.
Yeah, you got it right. You definitely, it's amazing. It's amazing to live like that.
It really is. Well, Bekah, I'm just so excited that we got to spend a little time with you this evening. I know you've been incredibly busy of late. I really appreciate the time that you've given us and just your thoughts and you're just a phenomenal person and an amazing artist. And I'm just so proud to have had this moment with you to talk about, your objectives and how you approach your music and your gift. It's been wonderful. It really has been an incredible blessing.
Thank you so much. And I just really appreciate your support, and I appreciate people listening and just taking out their time to even, to listen. Like, it's a really big deal, and it means a lot to me, and I really had an amazing time talking to you tonight as well.
Likewise, and I'd love to do it again. Anytime you have, something new and forthcoming, we'd love to have you back on to share and talk about your projects. So please keep in touch,
awesome.
And definitely we'll be having you back again. But in the meantime, we will promote you and your music and help you be heard.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you,
really
and God bless you in everything that you continue to do, and we wish you nothing but the best of much continued success as you go forward.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, take care, and we will definitely be in touch soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Take care, Bekah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Are you as inspired and uplifted as I am right now? What an amazing young woman. She definitely has her head on right. She's really got a great perspective on life and on people, and really has a heart for others. And really, that is what it's all about, is really doing for others without expecting anything in return, just doing it out of the goodness of our hearts. And, in today's world, we don't see that enough. I mean, all you have to do is turn on the news each day to see all the horrific, stories of the day about, all the strife and the turmoil between families and loved ones and just all the things that go on. And, and if we all could just learn to embrace one another, accept one another for who we are, not trying to embrace one another for the sake of changing someone so they can be molded and shaped into who we think they should be, but just to embrace them. And Bekah said it best, through this process and this journey for her and the things that she's done, she's been changed by, her interactions with people and the things that she's encountered, the experiences that she's had. They've changed her. It just magically happens. If we pray or we want someone to change for the better, sometimes all they need is love to help them achieve that. And so what an inspiring artist. I so enjoyed speaking with her, and I hope that you did as well. And before we close tonight, I want to play her song that she wrote called In Between, and it's just a beautiful song. I mean, the first time I heard it, I got tears in my eyes. It was just so powerful. The words of the song are just absolutely amazing, and you can just tell she's poured her heart and soul into this, and that she was really led to write this song. And the song was written, for the Harvesting Happiness for Heroes nonprofit organization, benefiting post-combat veterans and their families challenged with the invisible symptoms of PTSD and TBI. And I think, just absolutely beautiful song. But, it's not just for those in the military who have endured this and experienced it. It's for anyone. It's for anyone that's gone through challenges. It's for anyone who's lost a loved one, any number of things. It's really an uplifting and powerful song. So I want to share that with you now. This is Bekah Eden and In Between.
From the beginning, I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to fight for what's right from the start. Somewhere along the way, the path all of a sudden changed. And now I'm searching for the place I call home. Where is my in-between? That'll bridge the gap to the happiness I've seen. Where is my in-between? That'll take me to who I believe I can be. I'm searching for my place of serenity. I'm searching for my place. I had the best of intentions, but somehow I lost my way. And now I'm fighting for the right words to say. I want to find my peace again, but there's a battle going on inside of me. Can anyone see? Where is my in-between? That'll bridge the gap to the happiness I've seen. Where is my in-between? That'll take me to who I believe I can be. I'm searching for my place of serenity. Oh, I'm searching for my place of serenity. Oh, even the whispers of my heart feel a million miles apart from the place where I live and rest. During the times I fell, you knew me best. Now darkness is all I see, and my fears have overtaken me. And I'm fighting to live, and I'm fighting to breathe. I've been fighting for so long. I don't know where I belong, but I won't give up. I won't give up. I won't give up. No, I won't give up. No, I won't give up. I'm waiting in my in-between. I found the happiness I've once seen, and now I feel a change going on inside of me. I've conquered my in-between, and I'm letting go this pain in me. I don't feel sorrow anymore. I finally closed the door. No, my past isn't drowning me. No, it's been shaping me into who I was born
Bekah Eden, and In Between. If you'd like to visit Bekah's website, she is at Bekah, and that's spelled Bekah, Eden, EDEN.com. And you can also find her on Twitter and Facebook at the same name, Bekah Eden. And go to her site. I'm telling you, you'll love her site. It's not like any site I've ever seen before. It's very inviting. It's just so serene and peaceful. I mean, you'll love the background scenery. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's very well done. One of the best I've seen in a long time. So just stop by and take a look around. She's got a lot of information there that I think you'll find very useful, and also information where you can purchase that song as well as all others that she has released. All right, we want to say a huge thank you to our special guest this evening, Bekah Eden, for being with us. And also, before we wrap, I want to make a quick announcement. Coming up on Sunday, this coming Sunday, July 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern, our show, Jammin Jukebox radio show, will be celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being on air and also being on Blog Talk Radio. We are so excited about this milestone. And what we're going to be doing is over the course of an hour or so, we will be playing some of our picks of indie music that we have showcased throughout the past year. Some of our favorite indie artists, some of your favorite indie artists. So you are definitely going to want to stop by and take a listen, settle in, grab your favorite beverage. It is going to be a special edition of our Indie Artist Showcase. Typically, we do that on Saturday night, but since their anniversary date is actually falling on Sunday, we thought it would be nice to do it on the same day. And so we're very, very excited. You don't ever know who might drop by, who might call in. It's going to be a big time, and we are very, very excited. But we want to say a huge thank you to all of you, the listeners, for allowing us this opportunity to not only be here for the past year, but to bring so many great indie artists to you that we feel need to be heard. And a huge thank you to all the indie artists who have given up their time to be on here to do some 200-plus interviews over the last year. And you guys help make it happen. We are 735,000 listeners strong that we have gained over the last 12 months, and we could not have done it without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been my love and passion my entire life, and to be able to see a dream realized and to achieve a milestone such as this is far exceeded my wildest dreams. So I must say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for making it possible. So that's coming up on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and so if you're looking for some downtime and just to relax, please join us here. It's going to be a great show. We look forward to it. So with that, I will say that is going to do it. That's going to wrap our show for tonight, and we're going to take the next couple of nights off, but we'll be back here on Sunday night at 7. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your Friday. The weekend's coming, folks. Only 2 more days, and we're home free. So we look forward to Sunday night and being right back here with you. So take care, all. Have a great night, and we'll see you then. Take care. God bless.
Thanks for listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.